Call to order the January 7th, 2020 City of Wyoming City Council meeting. Let the record show that we do have a quorum. Council Member Zeros, Council Member Luger, Council Member Schilling, Council Member Yeager, and Mayor Iverson are present. We would like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be led by Council Member Zeros. Are we doing the flag? Are we doing the flag? No? Okay, all right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and tonight we actually are accepting a donation for the Wyoming Wanderers towards the Veterans Memorial Project at Railroad Park. So if you'd like to come on up. Yeah, that would be great.
Here?
Yep, that would be wonderful.
Okay, this is Dave. I'm David. Dave Durrett, David Haugen. We are both Army veterans. Dave, with his fearless fighting spirit and his slender physique, was a tunnel rat in Vietnam. Now that's a job where if you see a tunnel, Dave, you go down there and see what's down there. Oh, very exciting job.
Oh, I like this mix and whatnot. It's cool.
This donation is from Wyoming Wanderers, which is a group of senior musicians that most of us met each other here, and we do now performing mostly senior living facilities, independent living, assisted care. And we played New Year's Eve. We've got one in Blaine tomorrow. We got Thursday one in Cambridge, so we're keeping busy. And we do the 4th of July parade. We do Stacy Days, and we do Win-Win Fun Days. And just that appreciation, gratitude, we'd like to make this donation to the Wyoming Park Memorial Veteran Project.
That's amazing. Thank you all. Come on up, and can I put in a little plug for Friday night?
Please do.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your service. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. My plug to this is almost every Friday night. About 6:30?
Yeah, 6:30.
So they're up here playing. And the music is phenomenal. There's food, there's fun. It's just really a great time. I've been up here many times to listen to the music, and there's always dancing and singing. So if you get a chance, come on up here on Fridays and listen to these great musicians play. So, and thank you for this.
We have a very popular community balance in this community because a lot of taxpayers. Audience musicians.
Thank you. This will go a long ways to our goal for our Veterans Memorial Park, so we really appreciate it and really looking forward to having that amenity within our city, so thank you. So we're going to move on to our annual meeting. Do we need to open that into an annual meeting or just with the way it is? Okay. So we have our annual meeting. We're going to start on number 1. Designate the official newspaper for 2020, the Forest Lake Times, Resolution 200101. Do we have any questions or comments? Rob, do you want to speak on that, or should we just go ahead and?
This is part of the city's normal statutory business to designate an official newspaper every year. This year, we usually receive at least something from a couple different papers. This year, the only recipient we received was the Forest Lake Times. That is the usual newspaper that we do use, so that is what was presented before you tonight.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve Resolution 200101, designating the Forest Lake Times as our official newspaper. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Zeros. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Luger. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. Number 2, designate official depository for city funds for 2020, Resolution 20-0102. Mr. Linwood?
Mayor, members of the council, this is part of the annual meeting where we designate our different financial depositories for the city. That would be the First State Bank of Wyoming, Prudent Man Advisors, RBC Wealth Management, and the 4M Fund. So that resolution is in front of you for approval.
Okay, any questions or comments? If not, we need a motion to approve Resolution 20-0102, designating the funds, our official depository funds for 2020. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Luker. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Number 3, electing an acting mayor to serve in absence of mayor during the 2020, year 2020. Mr. Linwood, do you want to speak on that?
Sure, it's part of, it is necessary for the council, according to Minnesota statute 412.121, to elect an acting mayor in case of absence of our normal mayor or necessarily to conduct a meeting. So with that, we would open that up for any motions from the council.
Okay. And can we designate who we want? That right? Okay, so I would actually like to nominate again Member Luker. She did a great job this past year.
I'll second that.
Okay, anybody else want to bring somebody up? No? If not, we need oh, I should ask if you want to do that.
Yeah.
We should probably ask that first. Okay, so we need a motion to approve Member Luker as the acting mayor to serve in absence of mayor during 2020. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve by Member Zeros. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Member Schilling. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 3, review council appointments to boards, commissions, committees, and boards of trustees for the Fire Department, Fire Relief Association, Resolution 20-0103. Mr. Linwood?
Mayor, members of the council, this again is just an annual activity. You'll see that this is, as it is identified in that resolution, our normal boards, commissions, fire relief, as seen in Exhibit A. It identifies those different components and different boards, along with renewals of terms for interested candidates, and not only in our planning commission, park advisory commission, and EDA.
All right. And it looks like it's all the same as last year unless we want to change anything. And also we do have a couple openings on those boards and commissions. So we do have an opening on the EDA and we have an opening on the planning commission. So if you look at these names, is there anything we need to change?
No, I'm fine where I was. Finally getting the hang of the sewer commission.
Okay, good. All right, so with that, we need a motion to approve Resolution 20-0103 for council appointments to boards, commissions, committees, and boards of trustee for the Fire Department, Fire Relief Association. Do we have a motion to approve?
So,
Go ahead.
so moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by Member Schilling. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Number 5 on our agenda, establishing a 2020 regular meeting night of the City Council of the City of Wyoming and budget calendar for 2021. Mr. Linwood.
Mayor, members of the council, presented to you is our normal, the city council's normal meeting night is the first and third Tuesday of every month. We have found any items or any dates on the calendar that there may be some necessary changes. We've identified those as March 3rd, we have a presidential primary election, so we move that date to March 4th. November 3rd, we have a general election, so we move that date to November 4th as well. And then August 5th, due to our annual National Night Out event on August 4th. The second component of that would be our budget calendar. The City Council the last 3 years has adopted a calendar identifying the process for our annual budget and those necessary meeting dates. So that is presented to you tonight for approval.
Okay, questions or comments?
I would like to ask that the first budget meeting on May 27th be moved before the 19th, as I will be out of town for my anniversary.
Is that something we can look at?
I apologize, Councilmember Nate, you said before or after? I'm
Before the council meeting on May 19th, as I will be leaving the
If it's
next
before
day
council
for
meeting.
vacation.
May 19th, is that what you mean?
Yeah, there's a council meeting on that
Yep,
day.
understood. Thank you.
So the 27th is a Wednesday,
Right.
and you're leaving that day?
Well, I'm leaving I'm leaving on the 20th. Don't know when I'd be back yet.
I
I'll be
see.
back before the next council meeting.
All right, do we have any other conflicts for that day?
I do not. Oh, I'm good.
I'm good.
That works for me.
So move that first one to May 19th, then at 5:30, would that be?
Before the council meeting?
That'd be fine.
That just tends to be a longer meeting, though.
Yeah, that's okay.
Potentially, could be.
Okay.
That's up to the, we could always look at that Wednesday too, the 20th you're leaving, I'm sorry, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm leaving on the 20th.
We can peg it the 19th now, and then if we want to have further discussion on it, people look at calendars, we certainly can.
Okay, let's go ahead then. Okay, so,
Yeah, because the day before that sewer commission.
Member Yeager, would you like to make that change to the resolution?
Okay, move to approve the regular council meeting schedule and the budget calendar with the change that the May 27th, 2020 meeting be moved to Tuesday, May 19th at 5:30 PM.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Zerwas. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. And I just want to invite our residents and anybody out in the audience, you know, you can come to our budget meetings. It's always nice to kind of have our residents there as we're budgeting. So check the calendars. All right. We are now on number 6. Set the annual fee for the city services for 2020, Resolution 20-0104. Mr. Linwood, are you taking that one?
I can start out. It's necessary for the city every year to set an annual fee schedule for different services and different components we have. And this year, we have updated that with a few changes. I've identified a few of those, and we'll stand for any questions if the council has any. We've added a temporary liquor license fee. In the past, we've not had a charge for a temporary liquor license, and we've added that for just $100. That seems to be consistent with a lot of other cities in this area and our size. The second component would be for a hydrant meter deposit, and that would be for when contractors use a large meter for public works. That is a deposit of $700. That essentially is just a cost recovery. That's the cost of the meter. They make that deposit, they use it, and when it's returned, they receive that deposit back. The water meter costs for new constructions, if necessary, if council has a question on that, I can, Public Works Superintendent Almgeld's prepared to talk about that. But most cities, it is common practice that for new construction, that as a cost recovery measure, that they are charged for those meters. So you'll see that common. The city has not done that in the past. That's something we'd like to start doing. Our residential and commercial water and sewer rates, per our rate study that was completed in 2018, we have updated those to those 2020 rates. And then the public works equipment fees. That is just an identified rate of different public works equipment. You'll see many municipalities do this. It takes away a lot of questions when there are things that need to be done. A lot of those on there probably would never come up, but some things are more necessary. Sometimes grading, things like that have come up. So we want to make sure it's clear any of those normal charges. So with that, we'll stand for any questions.
Okay, questions?
Questions?
Okay. Member Yeager?
For the water meter costs for new construction, is that replacing the bulk water service charge per contractor?
No. Mr. Almgeld, do you want to handle that, or?
We took that one off of there because it was very confusing, because we have the bulk water meter charge for getting the meter, and then it's a set rate for minimum usage of a bulk meter. They get 500 gallons, there's one fee, and you get
Okay.
over thousands of gallons.
All right, so you just eliminated that one thing, and then we just put this in. And then the other questions I had was on the public works rental fees, equipment fees. All right, so what happens if the equipment comes back damaged?
Well, we don't rent equipment for people to use. This is for, if there's a tornado and we had a FEMA claim, these are the prices we would use.
Okay,
And also, if, say somebody didn't mow their lawn and we got sent out to mow their lawn, we would charge them from the fee schedule, so you know the set amount of what was the cost if they do not follow the ordinance or something like that.
okay, because I see things like for salt brine and
Yeah,
generators.
if neighboring cities wanted to buy brine from us, we just put a quarter on it, cost us 12 cents
Okay, but this is more for because the memo was saying for residents and businesses that need assistance.
If there, some of them, if there was a situation we had to use a business, like I had brought up the grading of roads, or if it was for some sort of private use of but the city would be conducting those services. It wouldn't be, just for clarification, it wouldn't be where we'd be allowing residents to using the public works equipment, or as
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Superintendent Elmstead said, if there was a FEMA event, or if there was different things where we just have an hourly charge on our fee schedule is the idea.
Oh, okay, and then for the fees where the equipment comes with the operator, that operator would be paid overtime for?
If it was an overtime event.
Okay.
But we just put we also have the overtime event for employee, I believe.
Yeah, overtime labor, yep,
Okay,
non-regular.
oh, I see it down on the bottom there. Okay, cool, thanks.
So my only question is this, basically it's cost recovery, right? It's not that we're adding anything, it's the fact that
Correct.
we're getting back what,
Correct. In most cases too, on the, whether it be just the damage deposit on that, or the public works fees, right, it's just a cost recovery measure. The water meter cost for new construction, that only applies to new construction, that's actually to the contractor, like the plumber, not even the actual developer. So that's where those costs, we're just recovering those instead of normally paying those, like I said, and that only applies to new meters, not to when we're replacing meters.
okay.
New
All right,
construction.
Are there any other questions?
I had none, actually.
I have none.
All right, then we need a motion to approve Resolution 20-0104 to set the annual fees for the city services for 2020. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Zeros. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Luker. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. We'll now go into our regular meeting, and what's on that first is the open forum. The open forum is an opportunity for members of the public to address the city council on items that are not on the current agenda. However, if you would like to speak for something on the agenda, you can sign up in the back. Items requiring council action may be deferred to staff or boards and commissions for research and future council agendas if appropriate. You will be limited to 3 minutes, and we ask that you conduct yourself in a professional, courteous manner and refrain from the use of profanity. Failure to abide by this policy may result in the loss of your privilege to speak. Do we have anybody here tonight that would like to speak? Please come on up and state your name and your address, even though we do know who you are. Good.
Hi, my name is Susan Young. I live at 9950 199th Street North, and yes, that is in a city to the south. I'm here tonight representing the Forest Lake Rotary and the Forest Lake Rotary Plunge. It's called Getting Cold for Your Cause. This is not one of the Special Olympics plunges. This is a Rotary plunge in which you can earn money for your organization. For instance, if the city council wanted to form a team and jump to support your Veterans Memorial Park and raise money for that memorial park, we would welcome you. As a matter of fact, I would love to set up a match between the City of Forest Lake council members and the City of Wyoming council members and see which one could raise the most money. Because we do have a challenge grant, which will be growing, and the organization that raises the most money gets that challenge grant free and clear. Now, as a Girl Scout mom and a soccer mom and a PTO mom, I know how hard it is to raise money for organizations, and quite frankly, when you get 10 cents back on a $5 box of cookies, that's really hard. On the other hand, on the Rotary Plunge, your organization gets 70% of the money that you raise back to you. That's because we have this really big, humongous tent that we keep at about 80 degrees so that everybody gets to change after the cold water in warmth and comfort. We also have the Stacy Lent dive team, which will be there to make sure that everybody is safe. The date of the event is February 8th. If you go to our Forest Lake Rotary website, bring it up, you look for the cute little penguin, click on the little penguin, and if you sign up, you would sign up as an individual and then form your team. It's a great event. It is a lot of fun. I believe that we will have our penguin available this year. It's a great event. It's a great way to raise money for your cause. And so I would invite everybody to do that. I have one more challenge.
Wait, well, first, before you get into your challenge, You mentioned a challenge, the challenge pot.
Yes.
Could you please give our people an idea of how much can go into that challenge pot?
Last year's challenge pot was almost $3,000.
Nice.
Additional for the organization. Right now it's at $300, but there is a Rotary meeting tomorrow, and I do expect the challenge pot will grow between now and February 8th. Now, I understand that Wyoming does have a Wyoming Lions Club, and there's a Forest Lake Lions Club, and there's a Scandia Lions Club. And last night when I was at Scandia, I challenged the Scandia Lions to beat the Forest Lake Lions, which should not be hard right now, because the Forest Lake Lions have one person jumping, and he's raised $50. My guess is that the Wyoming Lions could knock that out of the park. So I would challenge the Wyoming Lions to come, jump with us, raise money for their causes, and it's gonna be a fun day. So if there are any questions, I would be more than happy to answer.
Any questions?
That sounds cold.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
I've done it, but
I have been
it's-
doing this for almost all of the 10 years of the plunge.
Yeah, okay.
I jump every year. I jump for the Forest Lake Y scholarships.
Okay.
But it is an amazing way to earn money.
Yeah.
You don't realize that you were cold, trust me,
Okay.
because I'm one of those cold babies. It's a lot of fun and a great way to raise money for your cause.
Remember, Jaeger, you were on Rotary. Did you jump when you were president?
She was very, very busy being our penguin.
I'm the penguin.
Oh, but you haven't jumped yet?
Well, if you would, Mayor Iverson, if you would like me to jump, would cost $1,000. Raise it, I will put that penguin costume on, and I will jump in.
Remember shillings all over that.
I'm
All
sure
we gotta do is
all
raise
staff-
1,000, right?
all you need to do is raise 1,000, you will get 700 back.
All right.
And you can make sure that she jumps, because I forgot to mention that this will be live streamed. So your friends in Arizona and Florida can watch you scream.
Oh,
There you
perfect.
go.
It will be live streamed.
Perfect. That sounds great. And how long has the Rotary been doing this? Do you
10
know,
years.
Susan? 10 years?
And over $1 million has been raised by
That's
organizations.
amazing. Perfect. That's
Like I
great.
said, it is a lot of fun, and it's a great way to raise money for your organization.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
And Susan is a fantastic chair for our organization and has done a lot for us and has been a recipient. We awarded her a Paul Harris Fellowship for her efforts with last year's plunge.
Well, congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for coming
Thank
in
you
and
so
letting us know.
much.
We appreciate that. All right. Thank you.
Have a good day. Take that.
Do we have anyone else that would like to come up? No? All right. So from there, we'll move on to number 7, approval of minutes. Number 7 is consider approving the minutes of the regular meeting of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for December 17, 2019. Do we have any comments or questions about our minutes? If not, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by member Luker. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? They are approved. We'll move to the consent agenda. Any council member wish to pull anything on the consent agenda for further discussion? No, if not, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by member Zeros. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. We'll move on to reports from our officers, boards, commissions, and department heads. Is there anything that anyone would like to pull for questions or further discussion? No. If not, then we'll go ahead and move on to number 15, new business. To consider resolution 20-0106, a resolution to authorize Wyoming Public Safety to have is it foam? Am I reading that right?
Yeah, it's a full injection system.
Okay, Pro System and a 6-inch intake valve on engine 1 replaced by Rosenbauer, Minnesota LLC for the amount of $9,789.39. I just wasn't sure if that was.
No problem. Madam Mayor, members of the council, we have an item in front of you for consideration on replacing the foam injection system on engine 1. We've been having some in 2019, some intermittent issues with the foam injection system. Our crews have been looking at it, testing it, finally makes it up to Rosenbauer, and what we've discovered is the foam injection system is corroding within the engine, the tanking system. The foam injection system, what it does is it injects foam into the water when we're putting a fire out. And the purpose of the foam is it adheres to the combustible materials and then reduces the heat of those combustible materials and protects it from the oxygen, so it basically smothers out the potential for fire. So it's an important part of the fire suppression process. But over the course of last year, we've had some intermittent issues with it, and it's basically come to the point where we identified with Rosenbauer that the paddles within the system have corroded because the foam is a corrosive component, is corroded away at the metal components, and now we're at a place where we need to replace those components within the tank. The engine is at 15 years old, so we're about half-life of the engine as a whole. The cost to do that plus replace, as long as it's in, we're gonna replace one of the leaking valves on the back of the engine too. And so the total cost for this project is $9,789.39. It's in front of you based on the cost of the total repair over the $5,000 mark. So it's something that, we need to get the parts ordered right away so we can get this replaced sooner rather than later. So we have a recommendation for the council to authorize those expenditures to replace the 6-inch leaking valve in the back and the Foam Pro system, which is the foam injection system for the water system on engine 1.
Chief Hoppy, how long will it take to get these parts in and for Rosenbauer to get it taken care of and back running?
We don't know what the time frame is, but it's probably gonna be at least a couple of weeks before they can get the parts in, and then it's a matter of, once the parts are in, scheduling a replacement with Rosenbauer. So we're hoping to have it done probably within the next month, I think, Jesse, is what our goal is within the next month to have that replaced and back in service.
Okay, because I know that the fire department is doing a wonderful job letting the community know exactly how many runs and stuff that they're doing throughout the month. So we want to make sure it's almost one a day, if I'm reading that correctly. Some months it varies more than that. So we want to make sure we can get this back as soon as possible.
Yeah, so the engine won't be out of service in the meantime.
Okay.
We have the same component within engine 3 also. So it'll be in service up until the repair is actually done. We'll pull it out for a day or two while the repair is done, then the engine will be back in service. So we'll just run, with the limited capability of that foam injection system until the parts are in and the repairs can be made.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any more questions?
I have a weird question.
Jim?
Don't they make this pump with a corrosion-proof rotor on it?
You mean like in a stainless steel
Correct, yes.
version?
I mean, I'm assuming that would be far more expensive?
Yeah, and it's, not all of the components within it are stainless, so there's always that failure piece or part.
Right.
And so, you're dealing with a corrosive item and, a mechanism that's subject to that corrosiveness, so.
So this-
I don't know if this is per se, and I don't think, Jesse, do you know if it's stainless that the new pieces are coming in?
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah.
The main pump, the main water pump itself has stainless steel.
Right, that's what I thought,
It's this
okay.
Foam Pro system, and the paddles on them, they go bad.
Right.
One of our guys used to work for an apparatus, replaced EAM, emergency apparatus maintenance, and they replaced these paddles with quite a few apparatus in the area. So it's just because of what it comes in contact with.
Yeah, I know the foam is very corrosive, so.
Yeah, and the pumps are built in a different standard than,
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, if this one's 15 years old, I mean, that's a pretty good life, but.
yeah, I mean, we're at half-life of the truck, so hopefully, replacing this will get us to full life of the truck.
That was all I had.
All right.
Thank you.
There are no further questions. We need a motion to approve Resolution 20-0106, a resolution to authorize Wyoming Public Safety to have the Foam Pro system replaced by Rosenbauer.
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Zeros. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second by member Schilling. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. We'll move on to council reports. I know it was over the holidays, so I don't know how much we have that we're gonna be reporting on. Member Zeros, would you like to
No
start?
report.
No report, okay. Member Luker?
I attended the Wyoming Park Advisory Commission meeting last night. That was also their first meeting of the year, and which a lot of same things that we accomplished here tonight was accomplished last night in terms of establishing meeting dates and establishing Park Advisory Chair and Vice Chair. The Park Advisory Commission also discussed, had kind of a brainstorm where different ideas were discussed for items and ideas that we're hoping to accomplish in 2020. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Member Yeager,
No report. Thank you all for coming.
Member Schilling?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. Welcome back, staff, to the first full week. I'm looking forward with another year with you guys. It was a great first year for me, so thank you all. That's
Thank
all I
you.
have.
All right, and with the holidays, I really only attended one meeting, and that was the Park Advisory Commission, same as Member Luger, which was yesterday. So got a lot done. We're very excited about where our boards and commissions are going, and actually what the year is going to bring for 2020. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for being here, and some of our residents who we haven't seen for a little bit and are back to good health. So we're happy for that. With that, we need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.